to the Greyhead Arena here in the city of Glasgow, Scotland. Tonight, Frank Warren's Sports Network, in association with the News of the World, big on boxing, and on the internet with www.frankwarren.tv, proudly present 12 3-minute rounds of boxing for the vacant Featherweight Championship of Great Britain. The officials have been appointed by the British Boxing Board of Control. Steward in charge of ringside, Darry Traynor. Timekeeper at the bell, Mr. James Kirkwood. The three scoring judges at ringside for this assignment are Victor Loughlin from Paisley, Paul Thomas from Derby, and Mickey Van from Leeds. Finally, when the action commences, the star referee in charge of the action, Mr. Howard Foster from Doncaster. And so, introducing the first of the challengers this evening, boxing out of the red corner, wearing the blue-coloured shorts trimmed with silver and white. At the weigh-in yesterday, he scaled on the championship limit of 9 stones exactly. He has a perfect, unblemished record consisting of 12 contests, 12 wins. 4 of those wins coming by way of knockout. He comes to the ring this evening as the current Featherweight champion of England, presenting from Wythenshawe, the undefeated Andy Morris. And opposing him, boxing out of the blue corner, wearing the black-coloured shorts trimmed with green and silver. At the weigh-in yesterday, he scaled 8 stones, 13.5 pounds. He also has an excellent record consisting of 15 contests, 13 wins. 3 of those wins coming by way of knockout, with only 2 defeats. Tonight, he makes the second attempt to capture the championship, presenting from Greenock here in Scotland, John Simpson. Star referee Mr. Howard Foster will now give his final instructions. 12 3-minute rounds of boxing for the vacant Featherweight Championship of Great Britain.
Okay lads, I spoke to you both in the dressing room, you both know what I expect. Keep it clean, break straight away when told. Both of you watch your heads, good luck to you both. Touch gloves, good luck lads.
This has the makings of an excellent fight. This really has the makings of an excellent fight. John Simpson with all the Scottish support in his 15th professional contest. They're going for the vacant British Featherweight title up against Andy Morris from Wythenshawe, on the south side of Manchester. Morris in the pale blue shorts. And it really is a pick and fight, this one. If I was going to edge one way or the other, I just suspect that the power of Morris might be superior to that of Simpson's fight a few weeks ago. An impressive win then, and he got a stoppage victory over the Londoner Mickey Coveney. That was good form, but Simpson is undoubtedly going to be inspired by the terrific support he's got from the Scottish crowd.
He certainly is, and both boxers have started off, I mean, pretty much where you expect them to be, right in the centre of the ring. You know, this is going to be a real, as you said, John, already, rightly so, nip and tuck affair.
There's plenty of good old-fashioned staring between the two at the weigh-in. They're asked to do a few publicity photographs, and sometimes fighters find it difficult to suppress the giggles as they try to grimace for the camera, but not these two. They are in there and really meaning it. This is the opportunity to move forward really into big earning potential by winning this British Featherweight title. And of course, that's one which you had, Duke.
It certainly is, John. I held this very same championship many moons ago. But these guys are twice the size that I am. I mean, they look so big for the weight.
Both of them standing around about 5'8", but they're really good, bulky physiques, particularly Morris with his back to us, the Manchester lad.
Well, I'm actually glad that I'm not boxing one of these two boys. They'd have dwarfed me and well, history, as they say. But you know, these two guys, they're both really just sparring for openings at the moment. You know, there's Morris, who's got his chin tucked right into his chest because he doesn't want to leave anything out, hang anything out to dry. He knows he can't. And Simpson's just ready and willing and waiting to oblige.
This title made vacant by Nicky Cook, who's now the European champion, and Andy Morris is the reigning English champion. He won that title in his 11th fight, and here he is in his 13th. And it's an even sort of opening round, not too much between them, but I just get the impression that maybe the better snap has come from Morris, although of course every time Simpson connects you get the roar from the crowd.
Absolutely, John, that's exactly how I'm reading it. Morris just at the moment is just, you know, just a little bit lighter on his feet, ever so lighter on his feet, and just working out one or two different sort of angles to punch from. He's just got a slight shade.
Let's take a look into the corner of Andy Morris with his trainer Bob Shannon. Maloney, the manager, leaning through the ropes.
Make sure that round's nice and tight. But what you do, just pick him off and go in the angles. Don't go in square on, side on, angles, side to side. But work that jab. Don't go in too soon with him. You know, just work him. And then bite your jab. You must keep the jab all the time.
And in the Simpson corner, Danny Lee and also Dean Powell.
Throw your combination, bite your jab again. Bite your jab again. When he comes into your joint, bang, bang, a double jab.
When he comes off you, that's when you've got to go snap, snap, and then whip the right hand through. Okay. One solid jab going forward, and when he's coming to you, double jab, and then whip the right hand.
And that's right.
Plenty of animation in that corner, but I do think that Morris maybe did enough to edge that one, Duke.
Yeah, I'd be inclined to agree with you, but only marginally so. Simpson's doing exactly the right thing, you know, just ever so slightly outworked in that first.
In the second round, and Morris, the English champion from Manchester, up against the local lad from Greenock, John Simpson. And Morris perhaps just edging the opener. It goes 12-round distance. Well, it goes to the judges nowadays, of course, under British title rules. Victor Loughlin, Paul Thomas and Mickey Vann, the man that's sitting in judgment.
I like what Simpson's doing at the moment. He's got his chin tucked in nice and tight, and he's trying to come off with nice little combinations, but he's putting so much behind the jab, and there's probably no need for it. He needs to try and flick the jab without putting so much power behind it, so he can score it, use it as a scoring punch as opposed to a power punch.
In his own mind, John Simpson maybe will think that he should be the British champion anyway, or should have been the British champion. He got outpointed by Dazzo Williams last year. Controversial sort of results, adjudication. Many people thought that it was a bit of a hometown decision for Williams in Hereford. And since then, Williams blown away by Nicky Cook, now the European champion. They kept this title, so Simpson getting his chance once more.
Well, he's obviously got that experience on his side where he's challenged for the championship once before. Just got caught with a little shot there with Simpson.
Yeah, he was off balance, but it was good hand speed from Morris. There's a little bit of a slip as well from Simpson, but Morris took him back in his stride. Morris is just starting to come on a little bit stronger in the latter stages of this round.
Morris is just, again, he's just sort of losing Simpson with the footwork. You know, Simpson's matching him for hand speed, power and everything else. But what you're seeing from Morris is better footwork. He's creating different angles to punch from. Every time he punches and lands a shot, he moves off either left or right and comes in from a different angle.
Nice little exchanges, both men enjoying their share of success here. Morris turned professional after winning the Commonwealth bronze medal in Manchester back in 2002. Simpson also turned professional in that year. Good body shot from Morris. Another tight round, Duke.
Yeah, again, but you know, Morris, as I said before, it's just the superior footwork is what's winning in this round, and his patience.
dominated in the last half a minute of that round, but just moved like the matador. You made him miss.
Saying he was a little bit flat-footed at times. There's that moment when Simpson was a little bit off balance, but Morris did come on stronger the further the round went. Yeah, it was a punch, definitely.
Yeah, good shot. Looping left hook, round the side. And every time he lands, he steps off.
You let him get away with that. Listen, you're looking for big punches. I told you. Work the jab, and then pick away.
Move that feet 6 inches and miss every time.
Why saying you never caught him with it?
This is over in the Simpson corner.
You're making it too predictable what you're going for that left hook to the body.
Right.
You can't let him out jab. You've got to get off with a jab first, okay? Keep busy with that jab.
Stay on the jab. Stay on the jab, right?
Well, they know the score in that Simpson corner. They're urging their man to get back onto the jab. The Scotsman maybe has been outworked, and certainly the more positive, accurate and more deliberate scoring punches have been landed by the 22-year-old Mancunian Andy Morris in the pale blue shorts.
That was good corner work yet again from Simpson's corner, saying, you know, you're not getting through with a single jab, so you need to try and double it up and triple it up if you can, and then you just make your way forward behind that.
And you get the impression, Duke, that they're reading it much the same as we are, that Simpson is just for all the support of the crowd, is just maybe being on the receiving end more than he's dishing out.
Again, you know, there really isn't too much in these rounds. You know, I've given the first two to Morris just by a whisker.
It's a subjective business, of course, the boxing game. It's better work from Simpson. Good body shot inside, good left hook. Morris is just that little bit busier.
Yeah, he's got good hand speed, good reflexes obviously to go with the hand speed, but what impresses me is his footwork, the lateral movement that he gives, the little side steps, and he comes up with really cute punches, leads off with an uppercut.
Yeah, he's got good variety, hasn't he?
Absolutely, absolutely. And I'd like to see Simpson really inject some urgency into his work. He's just a little bit flat-footed. I mean, he's in this fight, make no mistake about it, but he's just not doing enough.
They're not hurtful, those jabs of Morris, but they're an irritant, and they're keeping the attention of the judges. They're looking at this one and thinking, well, he's scoring, that's good variety again. Hook to the body, followed by the uppercut.
Yeah, these are quality punches from... Oh, nice shot there. That's better from Simpson, as I said that though, but, you know, Morris has got a nice arsenal of punches, he really has. And he's working the ring, he's not just allowing, you know, Simpson just to come forward and tee off on him.
Only in the third of 12 rounds, and you just get the impression this is building up to be another cracking British title. We've seen some really good British title fights over recent weeks.
Oh, lovely shot there by Simpson, that was more like it. Good straight right hand, right down the shot.
There's the Jennings-Price title fight up in Preston, the one up in Hartlepool between Hunter and Pickering, and now we've got this one here in Glasgow, Simpson and Morris, and it really is anybody's guess at this stage which way it's going to go. Simpson has started to improve in this third round.
Yeah, he's having a very good round this round. He's getting home with the right hand, he's going right down the pipe, hasn't been able to miss Morris with it.
I think John Simpson did enough to win that round. See what the corner are saying.
Stay with him, John. You need to stay with him, son. Long stuff. Bang, bang, bang. Straight punches, okay?
Have a good rinse first, okay?
Morris started well, and there's Simpson over the top with that right hand.
Yeah, he's a little bit cumbersome, but it worked. You can just see him launch it here.
And there's Morris, good body shot, followed by that uppercut.
Yeah, again, nice combination from Morris. One to the body, followed it up with the uppercut.
Go in the middle, turn him and keep in the middle. Don't go trapping yourself in the corner, in each corner now. Just turn an angle and keep in the middle, bang, bang, and turn again. Keep making him miss and countering, right?
Let's go, son. Doing well.
Work that body a bit, but keep that hand up.
Well, I'd score it 2 rounds to 1 in Morris's favour at this stage. It's the 4th round. British featherweight title at stake, and it is turning out to be the close fight that we anticipated. John Simpson in the third round in the black and green shorts had his best round of the fight so far. Wise words from Danny Lee in that corner, and Lee himself was a professional featherweight.
There's a certain ruggedness that I like about Simpson. You know, he's a real no-nonsense type of kind of boxer. He really is. Box fighter, I should say.
The singing and the clapping starting around the Brayhead Arena. They're trying to urge the Scot on. Don't need me to tell you what sort of reception Andy Morris got here. You could say he was a little bit friendless in the crowd. There wasn't a huge level of support, although there are a fair few, of course, who've made their way up from Lancashire, not only supporting Morris but also supporting Amir Khan.
Simpson's landing some quite telling punches in this round. He's scoring with solid jabs. He really is. But, you know, Morris is picking away. It's nip and tuck. There's nothing in it at all. This sort of fight will keep you on the edge of your seat.
I get the impression at this stage that one big round, one way or the other, could have a real pivotal effect on the contest.
I guarantee you this, whichever boxer gets hurt or wobbled or shaken in any description, the other one's coming straight back at him.
Good straight right in there in that exchange from the man in the pale blue shorts, Andy Morris.
Sorry, John.
You heard in the corner that Morris was urged by his cornerman to not allow himself to get trapped in the corners, to boss the fight, to try and impose himself centre ring.
The smoother boxing lies with Morris. The heavier punches at this present moment in time lie with Morris. Simpson.
Which may be not the way that most people would have expected it to go. I certainly thought that the edge in power might go with the Mancunian.
See, what Morris is prepared to do is to stand at range, flick and pick, you know, not load up with the punches at all. He's just prepared to put the points in the bag. Well, you've got Simpson, who's, when he is the aggressor, he's looking for the big shots.
It's quality versus quantity, in other words.
Absolutely.
Closing seconds of the fourth round, and another very difficult one to score. Can't be too much between them. Perhaps Simpson's late flurry getting him back into it. Andy Morris in that corner.
Remember, don't start getting too close at the end of the round. You want him to going back to the corner at the end of the round thinking, fucking hell, I didn't hit him with one shot there. You're letting him come strong at the end and catch you with a few shots. You don't want that. You want to go back to the corner thinking, shit, what have I done? Not hit him again.
Job again, right? And knock him off again. Okay, son?
Alright, just keep it still till I can tell you a little mousey.
Okay? You in there? You stay fucking busy on this guy.
Listen, calm down a bit,
you're
listen.
good.
Now listen,
You're doing good.
you've got to get off first.
Absolutely brilliant.
Okay? You've got to get off first, Johnny. Alright, mate, don't let him beat you to the punch and keep moving your head all the time, okay?
Okay, son, try and move your head. Stay busy.
Fifth round, and a fascinating insight between rounds in the corner there. And I did think that Andy Morris's corner were absolutely right in that they realised that the fighter had allowed Simpson to finish the round strongly, and that might just have caught the judge's eye and might have stolen Simpson the round.
I'd be inclined to agree with that. But what they was actually doing in Simpson's corner, his trainer actually read the right act to him.
In certain terms.
Yeah. Move your head, and keep sticking that jab.
Well, my card, I've got it dead level, Duke. I've given Morris the first two, and I think that Simpson has maybe edged the third and the fourth.
That's pretty much how I've scored it also, John.
So all to play for in the fifth round. Simpson will try and dig on the support of the crowd. I'm sure they'll be urging their man forward. A little bit subdued at the moment as Morris enjoys the better of the opening exchanges of this round.
And that was a lovely left uppercut there from Simpson, it really was. I mean, obviously the work rate lies with Morris. He's beaten him probably 2 punches, maybe 3 punches to 1. But the telling punches, as I said before, are coming from Simpson.
And maybe the further the fight goes, maybe the more that could be a decisive factor, because it's all very well for Morris to be maintaining this work rate at round 5. What's it going to be doing when the bell goes for round 10, for round 11, for round 12, if it goes down the line?
Sure, and the pace has to drop. You know, Morris won't be able to maintain such a high work rate, you know, for the duration of the whole fight. So, you know, when he drops to Simpson's pace and Simpson starts landing these blows, that might be the telling point in the fight. Lovely double left hook there, though, from Morris.
Good shot inside, good right uppercut from Morris.
Beautiful shot.
And that's just taken the wind out of Morris momentarily, and another good straight left from Morris. This is a good round for the Mancunian. Starting to establish himself again, and a good left hook from Simpson. It's a sort of fight, Duke, where these lads, whatever the outcome in years to come, they're going to look back on this one, and they're going to look back on it with a smile, despite the fact that there were grimaces and stares at the weigh-in and when the fight began.
Absolutely.
Really well matched. Closing seconds of the 5th round, which for me has been won by Andy Morris in the blue shorts.
Son, right?
Close your eyes.
Stay busy with that jab.
Close your eyes.
You stay busy with that jab, okay? Stay busy with the jab. Try to get me leaning on your right hand
Give him
side.
a drink. Give him a drink while I'm doing that, please. Don't worry about your eyes.
He was the quicker to the punches for the majority of that round, was Andy Morris, Duke, and he caught his man with a lovely uppercut as he came in at one point. Maybe this is it. There you are, that lovely right uppercut.
That was a real class shot, it really was, and he finished the round with a beautiful combination.
Like the matador, boom, 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 and then back again. Let him load up, and then he'll miss, and then we go back and wear him down now. This is number 6 coming up now. Number 6 round now, right? Just work the jab, work the jab.
Hurts him to the body there. He nodded and smiled. You're hurting him.
Be as one with your body. Another drink, right? Another drink. Listen,
Come on.
be one as your body now. As one with your body. Right?
Sixth round of 12. Very close indeed. We've got Andy Morris just edging it at this stage, but Simpson has got the support of the crowd. Every time he lands, there's a roar from the 6,000 or so here at the Brayhead, and the judges, of course, are going to be hearing that, and maybe they will be swayed by it. Who knows?
Yeah, I too have just got Morris 1 round up going into this round. But as Simpson starts his ascent and starts to back Morris up, Morris won't be caught on the ropes. He steps off left or he steps right and goes back, straight back to his boxing. He's got a real cool brain in there.
He's boxing very well, is Andy Morris, if he can keep this going. And Simpson is not landing with the authoritative punches that he was in the 3rd and the 4th. Morris is starting to dictate this fight now.
The angles are just starting to cause Simpson 1 or 2 problems now, where he just needs to get his second win to get back into the fight, and it would appear that Morris has his.
He's got the better footwork, neat footwork, variety of punch. Maybe the power shots are coming from Simpson, but he's not landing too many of them now. And those irritating lead punches from Morris are accumulating the points. Good uppercut though from Simpson.
Unfortunately, 1 shot doesn't win you the round. He's getting outworked probably 3 shots to 1, as I said earlier. You watch every time he tries to back Morris up onto the ropes, Morris just steps off and throws really cute counter punches. It's an annoying jab that he's got, Morris. He just picks and flicks with it, hits the target, steps across, comes back with a right hand. deadly left hook to the body.
Really good quality shot that was, Duke.
Well, I'll tell you what, this boy Morris at the moment is a joy to watch. This has been his most commanding round for me so far. Good foot movement, hasn't taken a shot so far in this round.
Yeah, and I wondered about whether or not he'd be able to maintain the pace. Perhaps, well, there's still 6 rounds to go, but at this stage he certainly is doing. He's showing himself to be an extremely fit and well-conditioned young man. He did look in terrific shape, I thought, at the weigh-in when we were there yesterday. Good shot again. Good left hook.
Lovely body shot there by Morris. Just saw Simpson wince there.
And that is always a telling sign. Another round to Andy Morris.
Just Simpson shaking his head.
Right, stay busy on that job and keep working away. Right, keep working away. Down here. Okay. Right, don't pass here. Right, ready. The spot area, left hand side. Big air too. Yeah, be swallow.
Bit of swelling around the right eye of John Simpson in that corner.
Stay busy on your job, son, mate. Stay busy on your job. Combine your right hand.
Dean Powell working away on it as Danny Lee gives his instructions.
Stay busy, stay sharp.
All the time. All the time. Right? Just tip across that double jab. Boom. Yeah, angles again. That work that body. But plant your feet a bit. Start planting your feet a bit now. When you inside out, it's getting really tired now. So start working that body here. Boom. When you get your close, whack. But bend them knees now. And work that jab. But angles. You cannot. It won't be able to whip your hand. Come on.
Into the 7th, and it's a good fight and a close fight. But on our cards, Andy Morris from Manchester is just about edging it. 4 rounds to 2, I've got it, Duke.
4-2, yeah, it's not a bad call, John. I mean, you know what Simpson obviously needs to do now is he needs to try and reassert himself into this fight. He needs a big round just to get his confidence back, and he needs to try and hit the target obviously more regular, and really try and push Morris back onto the back foot and keep him on that back foot.
The Morris corner saying to their man, try and get in and plant your feet now and make that advantage tell. He's outboxed him and outworked him, but now they're trying to get into his feet and deliver punches with authority, and you saw that left hook go in there and Simpson shake his head and say, well, that didn't hurt me, and invariably that means it did.
Yeah, okay, we know that, John. I mean, you could see the wince. You see him wince when he sunk that shot into the body. He stepped across, sunk the shot, and it was like, you could just see the pain in his eyes.
But one coming back from Simpson though.
Yeah, but what Simpson can't deal with is the angles that's being given all the time. He can smile all he wants, but we know that these punches are telling.
Simpson's giving it a little bit of the old macho bravado. He's urging Morris to come in and say, come on then, let's have a tear-up. If you want to go toe-to-toe, let's see if you've got what it takes.
Well, that's where Simpson can possibly win this fight, is if he can make it into a really untidy kind of a dogfight. But, you know, Morris is just a little bit too clever because he likes to use the ring, he likes to use his boxing skills. He can fight at range and he can fight in close, but he won't stay in close long enough for Simpson to land his blows.
I know, speaking to Frank Maloney earlier today, that he was just a little bit concerned that his man and Morris would have to win big, you know, with the crowd urging on Simpson and reacting to his every blow, that he would have to win this fight, well, by a bigger margin than he would if the fight was in Manchester, put it that way.
Well, right now, you know, Morris is, for me, you know, he's a couple of rounds up, so, you know, the judges, I'm sure, will give a fair decision either way.
Experienced men, the judges, Victor Loughlin from Paisley, and then 2 really well-known figures in British rings, those respected judges, Paul Thomas and Mickey Vann, both star-class referees.
Morris just allowing Simpson to back him up too much, and this is a good round for Simpson.
Fascinating fight. First the tide and the current goes one way and then the other, and Simpson has come back a little in this round. Morris was certainly bossing the last, but Simpson, under the fervent instructions of his corner, has had his best round for some time and maybe has just about done enough to edge it. Well, we'll see, but it's certainly close.
your
seen
eye.
him.
Shut your
Seen
eye.
him whinging and pulling that right hand down. Okay.
Hard on top body, John.
Hurting him your body. Okay.
It's a number. Win every round coming tonight. I want
You're
to finish.
catching him where you're catching your body punch. This time I want you to feint.
Keep
You go
it
down,
still.
John. You go down and bang over the
Give him a
top.
drink. Give him a drink
Okay.
of water.
Some water.
You don't need 3 on here, just get him some water.
Simpson had his moments in that round. That's a good body shot though from Andy Morris. And there was the little shake, as much as to say, well, that didn't hurt me. But back came Simpson with good shots of his own, including that one. And that, look at the grimace on his face. That did hurt.
Yeah, telltale sign, absolutely.
Another
You
lead
know, you
now.
could just see him squint there desperately.
Come on.
Deep breath, deep breath.
Come on, champ now. Come on. Just say, come on.
Remember, go check line, get yourself angles, shot, angles, listen. Remember your angles.
Very, very close fight. We've got Morris just edging it, but Simpson is coming back into the 8th round. Maybe no more than a round between them.
I just wonder now if Morris is actually, he's just lost his way ever so slightly.
Good body shot from Morris.
Simpson's just holding the centre of the ring pretty much as he wants so far in this round. It's a good start by him.
Still think Morris has been edging this one, Duke. Just, I won't say it with any great degree of conviction. I just think that maybe the work rate is just taking it in his direction, although Simpson is definitely fighting his way back into this contest.
See, the hurtful punches I said earlier are coming from Simpson. You know, they are infrequent, they're not as regular as we were seeing from Morris, but they're more hurtful, they're sapping Morris's strength.
Good hand speed from Morris. But Simpson content to tuck up.
Both boxers biting on that gum shield, trying to get maximum power out of the punches. There's no real finesse about Simpson, but he's being very effective. Well, Morris needs to do what he's been doing all the rounds previous, just keep giving him angles. There you go, keep stepping across, don't snap any counters. It's a little bit better now for Morris.
Simpson's landing the more solid shots.
Yeah, absolutely. Morris, he starts with well, but you just allow Simpson to take the play away from him.
Good body shot again from Simpson. Morris trying to provide this elusive target. Undefeated fighter, of course, Morris. Hasn't lost in 12 contests since making his debut a couple of years ago. And good hand speed again from the young Mancunian. Neither man really staggered in any way so far. Some good body shots have been landed in this contest, and it really is still all to play for.
Go to him now. Go to him. Bang, bang, bang. Listen. 9 rounds. 9, 10, 11, 4 rounds. 4 rounds. Come on, quick. Come on, quick. This kid, quick. This kid now.
Well, there was some of the work from Morris. And back came Simpson. Good right hand there. Morris has landed more punches, more power with Simpson.
The punch, okay? He's out, I know, but listen, come on, suck it up, don't let it go away from you,
Come on, stick with it. Come on, let's go. Hey, come on.
Bit of urgency in that Simpson corner. Forward we go into round 9. Morris once again a couple of rounds ahead.
I've only got Morris 1 round up going into this round. It's a better urgency now about Morris as well. You know, the footwork's been impeccable throughout. You know, the hand speed's been pretty good. Just once or twice he stepped off. He just seemed to have lost a little bit of concentration, but this round he started with real good positiveness.
Simpson's got to work now. They were imploring him to dig deep. Questions were being asked in that corner between rounds about how much he wanted it. He's got to get in there and be first, they were saying. He's got to boss the fight. And he's just, I just don't think he's just doing enough at this stage. He's landing some big punches and he's landing some hurtful shots, but Morris is being allowed to outwork him, and those angles which the cornermen have been talking about, he's finding them, and he's still keeping his mobility here in the midway stage of the 9th.
I just wondered if Simpson's just starting to feel a little bit sorry for himself, and his head went down in the corner once or twice there. The corner trying to motivate him and get him into the fight, you know, keep him in the fight. I'm just not so sure. Just it boils down to who wants it the more at this point.
Morris, I think as well, might be slightly the better conditioned man. He seems, I was wondering earlier in the fight about whether or not he'd be able to maintain his pace, and look at this in the 9th. He's out punching and outworking Simpson right the way in every way in which you care to measure it.
It's a nice, commanding, positive round from Morris. Nice little combinations, starting to create the angles again, which we spoke about earlier on.
Good straight left, good lead from Morris. And there's not a lot from Simpson in this round.
Simpson's going back quite voluntarily now. And Morris has really sort of picked up the pace, and he's really confused Simpson quite a lot.
He's outboxing him in this round, Duke. It's not just work rate. He's picking his punches better.
Yeah, good sportsmanship from both boxers. There was a slight clash of heads, but both acknowledged that straight away.
Yeah, good to see. Last few seconds of the 9th, and Andy Morris has done enough to win this again, surely, and he's starting to ease clear in this fight.
You ain't getting tired, and you don't open your mouth to do that. Listen, keep poker face.
This is a nice bit of snappy boxing here from Morris. It really is. Nice jabs.
And good variety of punches, Duke.
Yeah, nice lead uppercut, right hands, hooks. He's a classy performer.
Ouch.
Yeah, I wouldn't like to be on the receiving end of, you know, going into the later stages of the fight.
Right up the top, bang that right hand in. Remember the chocolate drum.
See your right hand. Ready? Throw your jab. Be right more hand. You me? You right uppercut, son.
Go out and be tidy again this round, mate. One jab, double jab, right cross. Okay, Johnny?
Right, son. And now good run, man. Right.
I've got Morris. I've got Morris 6 rounds to 3 ahead after the 9. I know you scored it a little bit closer, Duke, and it looks as though it could well go down to the judges now.
Yeah, I've got Morris only I've got him 2 rounds up.
This for the vacant British Featherweight title, remember? Nicky Cook, now the European champion, making the title vacant.
Accumulation now is what we're getting from Morris. Just the cumulative effect is what we're seeing. The amount of punches that he's hitting, landing and hitting the target with is quite impressive. You know, we're going into the last couple of rounds in this fight, and you know, he's bumping out the combinations really good. The footwork's still brilliant, the hand's still high, the jab's still working.
It was a good win when he found a way to stop Mickey Coveney in his last fight in September, because Coveney's a gutsy, strong, experienced fighter, and here he is, well, to my way of looking at it anyway, he's starting to do a bit of a number on Simpson, although Simpson gets in with a flailing left hand, but you see even inside, the crisper work surely is coming from Morris now.
Both boxers have kept the composure really well, but again, you know, that lies with Morris. Still got his chin tucked up nice and tight. He's landing some lovely clusters of punches, and then he's getting out of punching range almost immediately.
Oh, he's bossing it now, Duke. No question about it.
Yeah, he's really got his foot on that accelerator. And you can see the finishing line, and he's going for it.
Simpson starting to feel the pace as well. You saw him flex the arm, trying to get some mobility into those tired arms. And Morris, insistent, still keeps coming forward, picking him off, beating him to the punches, and looking the stronger, faster and fitter man as you say, Duke, near that finishing line.
The single jab just won't do it for Simpson. The single jab just won't get home, particularly against the moving target. He's got to use his jab and use it like it's got a radar on the end of it, and just keep pumping it until he hits the target. Then he can detonate the right hand.
John Simpson, for me now, is starting to look a rather disheartened fighter. He's being outboxed, outworked. Greater speed from Morris as well, and it looks as though this title is going to the fighter from Manchester.
Right, come on, get your eyes closed.
All Morris, he was on top for long stages of that round, Duke.
He certainly was. I like the way he leads off with the right hand lead. It's such an unorthodox shot, but even the jabs at this point are quite stinging and have become quite hurtful.
Mighty frustrating to be beaten by that right hand lead coming out of the orthodox stance.
Absolutely.
2 rounds, Keir. Up it, John. Bring you up it for 2 rounds. Come on, John. 2 rounds, right? Up it now, right? Let's take a fight to him.
The winner takes it all. Are you winner? Let's win it, corner.
Come on, step up his gaze now, son. Come on.
Just go out there.
Rocky speak in the corner. Are you a winner? How much do you want it? Moving into the closing stages of what has been a fascinating fight. Close early on, but Morris has started to accelerate away. The 22-year-old from Manchester, undefeated in 12 fights. Is he now going to win this vacant British featherweight title?
Simpson's corner really trying to fire him up, just motivating, you know, not giving pep talk about tactics, you know, behind any kind of, you know, double jab right hand. They're just trying to pump the boy out and get him out there to let his hands go.
The old do you want it questions. How much do you want it? Get out there and do it. Meanwhile, in the Simpson corner, they surely know that he's got to produce 2 sensational rounds here if he's going to turn the tide.
Well, Simpson, for me now, I think he needs to knock out to win. Morris just needs to keep doing pretty much what he's been doing for the last several rounds. Just keep giving him angles, keep landing him snappy little combinations. You know, I'm not doing anything crazy at all.
Simpson doesn't look to me as though he's got that concussive power, that one-punch knockout, which is going to turn this around. Dangerous thing to say, I know, inviting the curse of the commentator, but it doesn't look as though he's going to do it at this stage.
John, you took the words right out of my mouth. You just cannot write him off. You really can't. I mean, okay, he's not the biggest puncher in the world, but he's a solid puncher. And at this stage of the game, if he lands cleanly enough on Morris, well, you just don't know what could happen. But I just can't see that happening. Morris is he's really starting to, he's romping home to the victory line.
He's outworking him again. Oh, good right hand from Simpson. Just caught Morris as he came in close. But but it didn't look as though it discomforted the young man from Manchester.
Just looking a little bit tired now, I think, is Morris. Although he's still pressuring, he's still trying to hustle and bustle. That one shot just seemed to sap his strength just marginally.
That's 30 seconds of the penultimate round, and who's going to have the eye-catching grandstand finish here?
Both boxers are tired now. They've both got desperately hard.
Well, no shock there, because this has been a fast-paced fight. Well, a close round. Just one to go after this. Well, is Andy Morris about to become the British featherweight champion? Let's see what they're saying in the corner.
Listen, look at that. All this work you've done. Box him now. Don't do anything silly, listening. All I want to do is you box him. Two hands. Listen, give me some drink. Listen, two hands. You've got to work constantly with that jab in his face and push him back. Push him back. Don't let him come back. Right? Jab his head off. 1-2s, 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 right? Don't do it silly. Get your hands up, move side to side, but keep working with that jab.
Left hook to the head this time, right? Body head, and finish off with a right hook down the way. Okay? So this is the last round, son. You've got to take him out of here.
Right? Listen, you've got 3 minutes to go here. You've got to pull this out the bag, okay? Hold it together, okay? It's non-stop for 3 minutes.
Nice one, non-stop, son. Let's go. Let's go.
What an excellent fight we've had here for this vacant title, and the 2 touch gloves, a nice display of sportsmanship, and all around the Braehead Arena the fans applauding what has been a fascinating fight. But the Scotsman, we heard the cornerman between rounds, he needs a big last round as John Simpson if he's going to get out of this one, or at least that's the way we're seeing it, because Andy Morris for long stretches of this fight seems to have outworked the man from Greenock. His corner clearly think that if he could just keep his boxing together and just keep Simpson on the back foot, then the title is his.
I'd have to agree with that. We've had some really good entertainment from both boxers, but I just feel that Morris's greater variety, hand speed and mobility will see him home to victory.
Well, Simpson, even though he's been implored to throw punches and fight for 3 minutes right the way through, he's just not able to maintain the work rate, and Morris still in this final 3 minutes up on his toes, a mobile target, and is keeping his man going back. And as you heard his trainer Bob Shannon say, he's still throwing those 1-2s and keeping on the offensive, still dominating as the line approaches.
Just got to be careful as Morris not to walk onto one, because he's really pumping these punches out and forcing the pace, pushing Simpson back.
Who wants it? Is Morris the man? Still come forward and throwing the big shots. Good left hand to the body from Simpson, but that's one against maybe half a dozen.
Absolutely. Full credit to both boxers, though, because it's been a hard-fought paced fight. You've hardly noticed the referee at all. No real infringements. There's been no dramas, no knockdowns, no cuts, no dirty fighting. Certainly you wouldn't expect it from these two. It's been a well-contested boxing match.
Well, I've only given John Simpson 3 rounds in this fight. I don't think he'll win this round either. The man in the black and green shorts, the Scottish crowd would love to see a Scottish winner. But if Morris doesn't get this verdict, well, I'd be surprised, very surprised.
I've got Morris by 4. If he completes this round, it'll be his foot by 4.
I've got it Morris by 6, because I think he's really won very clearly down the straight. Second half of the fight he's dominated. Closing seconds then. And there were a few snarls at the weigh-in and prior to the fight. Both of them knew there was an awful lot at stake here, but I think, and I believe anyway, that Andy Morris is going to win this one, but it's going to go to the judges' cards, and the final bell sounds and Morris celebrates. He thinks that he is the new champion.
Well, body language tells a lot, and if you look at Simpson, I think that is the look of, and he's resigned himself to the fact that he's not the champion. Unfortunately, he's come up short yet again. And if we're right, John, in saying what we think our score is going to be, then, you know, Morris is going to be the champion.
Well, Simpson doesn't have the look of a winner, does he? He doesn't look as though he truly believes that he's done enough. He's posing for the photographs, but, well, I don't know. He's nodding as though he's won it, but certainly over in that corner, Bob Shannon, the trainer, the manager, Frank Maloney, and particularly the fighter, 22-year-old Andy Morris, he thinks that he's won it. Anxious moments, though, as the cards are totted up. Michael Pass, the master of ceremonies, collecting the scores, and a word as well for the referee. I thought Howard Foster did a really good job there, allowing the action to flow.
Absolutely. You hardly saw him, you know, wasn't called upon at all. Good sportsmanship throughout from both boxers.
Yeah, excellent fight, and in just a moment or two we will get confirmation of the result. Is it going to be as we saw it? This is John Simpson, the Scotsman, or is it the man who we've scored it for, and that is Andy Morris from Manchester? They certainly think they've won it, don't they? And now here comes the result.
Ladies and gentlemen, here are the judges' scorecards. Judge Victor Laughlin scores the contest 118 to 111. Judge Paul Thomas sees the contest 117 to 111. And Judge Mickey Van scores the contest 118 to 110. All three judges in agreement. The winner by unanimous decision and new featherweight champion of Great Britain from Wiltshire, Andy Morris.
Well, the crowd don't like it, but the Manchester fans, Team Morris, they're celebrating.
John Simpson.
And Andy Morris wins it by 118 to 111, 118 to 110, and as I scored it, 117 to 111. Big win though for Andy Morris, the new British featherweight champion.
The new champion, Andy Morris.
Got away with someone. Happy. Hang on a minute, the pads are falling down.
Andy Morris, British featherweight champion. What does it sound like?
Sounds good to me. Sounds good to me. Yeah. Been working for this now since I was 9 years old. Now it's paid off. The help of Johnny Fearing. I've been training Bob Shannon, Nigel Hardman, and Frank Maloney. I've done it. This is one more step in my career now. British featherweight champ.
The boys had some words with you around the 4th and 5th, telling you to step it up.
Yeah.
And you did that.
Yeah. Well, like I said, we training it's gone really well. Trained beyond 12 rounds, as many as we could do. You know what I mean? So I knew the fitness was there. No one can stand that amount of pressure with punches going at him.
A few snarls in the weigh-in yesterday, and this means a lot to you, I know. What in particular was good about tonight?
I've come down to Scotland in his own backyard and took it off him. You know what I mean? That means a lot. Skill. Fitness.
Technique and skill. British champion. What next?
Hopefully defend this. European and then world. I want to defend this, win it outright. Keep it in the family then.
Well, tonight.
Thanks very much. Thanks.
You're making a ring. I want to take some pictures of you.
Thank you, Andy.